race fans, welcome to round 3 of the All-American ARCA Series, coming at you live at the California 200. We're at AutoClub Speedway, 156 laps tonight, guaranteed to be a good one. Up in the booth, I'm James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, always pushing it live to you in 1080p, 60 frames a second. Joined to you tonight with Mason Heimbaugh. Mason, it's your first time broadcasting the All-American Series. How excited are you tonight?
Thank you, James. I'm very excited to be here tonight. It's going to be a great race. Excuse me. We have 34 drivers currently here signed up for the race tonight and are present here, and I think we're going to see a lot of just excellent racing and a little bit of caution racing, I think.
Yeah, hopefully these guys are able to put down some good, clean green flags. I know Phoenix was really tough for a lot of the racers last week, but we saw Eckert bring home his second win in a row. He has a commanding lead in the points chase right now. He is about 38 points ahead of second place, Mr. Carrington, and also Vandermeed. So it's a two-way tie for second right now, while Mr. Silvers is 39 points behind, and he's sitting fourth. So not a lot of points separating the guys in the points chase as well. And then the team chase really shaping up as well. You got Outlaw Racing out front with 166 points. You've got Cornerstone Motorsports. They gained 2 spots last week, moving their team up to second with 137 points. And then you've got Spirit of Daytona Racing. They are in third place for the team championship with 118 points. So a lot of great racers out here, and hoping to see some good, clean qualifying times from everybody, and then maybe some good racing with a little bit of luck.
Absolutely, James. If we're lucky tonight, we're going to see hopefully a good number of good green laps here. And the thing that I'm really kind of interested about is you mentioned Carrington and Vandermeed. They're both tied right now for second in points, and it makes me curious what these guys are going to put down here in their qualifying laps. Are they going to really try and come out and put on some excellent lap times here in qualifying, or are they going to take it a little cautious, and try and put themselves in a more comfortable position in the pack?
I think generally here, Mason, these guys are going to push as hard as they can, try and get out front early on. And what we've seen in the past is more cautions kind of breed in the middle of the pack to the back of the pack. Now, Casey Carrington, he started 4th place last week and he finished 4th place. Vandermeed started 8th place and finished 5th place. But man, John Eckert, he started off pole, and I believe he led every single lap last week. So Eckert's going to be the man to beat, but right now we're not seeing a qualifying time put down from Eckert. So let's see if he's got something in reserve. But for the most part, it looks like these top 10 finishers start strong and then generally finish kind of strong. It's the mid-pack that makes things a little bit more exciting.
Absolutely, yeah. Once you start getting just everyone involved in that middle pack there, you start getting 5, 6 plus cars all kind of grouped together and bunched up going through these relatively, I guess, tight corners. They're not too tight, but when you have all those cars going in there together, whether you're 3 wide or maybe even 4 wide in worst case scenarios, I mean, you're going to have to be watching out for each other and making sure that you're not slamming into the back of someone else.
Yeah, fully agree. We saw it at Phoenix as well. Once tire wear came into effect and the pace really slowed down, you saw a little bit less and less cautions as the night went on. The field kind of got pretty strung out. It's usually those first few laps that kind of separate the men from the boys, and you're going to see who's going to play it smart, who's going to send it right off the rip and risk their car. From my understanding, no fast repairs tonight. So if you've got the car you've got, there's no coming in and getting quick repairs or anything like that. If you have a bad crash early on, you're going to very quickly find yourself down a whole lot of laps.
Absolutely, and I believe Justin Eckert is actually putting on his first lap time here. He's about 3/4 of the way through his first lap. Alex Penn with the best lap time to beat, with 41.67 being his best lap time. And I really am curious to see what these guys are going to do as far as what they're going to qualify for, especially these top competitors. And so far, it looks like Eckert is the only man that hasn't put down a lap time that we're looking out for.
Yeah, that top 5, I agree. I mean, Penn and Barkowski, they put down almost identical qualifying times. Less than 0.05 of a second separate the top 5. So, I mean, these guys are hanging it all out here in qualifying and using every little bit of traction they can afford to. But let's see what Eckert can do this next time by. See if he can put himself in a little bit better qualifying spot. He did qualify for a pole last week. Can he make it 2 in a row? And most importantly, can he make it 3 races in a row for wins?
And that would be huge for Eckert, I think, and to pull off 3 races in a.
He did it.
He did it.
He puts it on top of provisional pole. Eckert puts down a 41.63, edges out Silvers and Penn. So just like that, Eckert's back out front, but let's take it to the grid and let's get ready to start this party. You've got Johnny Eckert out front in first, James Silver starting second, Alex Penn in third, Brandon Barkuski fourth, Dylan Smock in fifth, Spencer Dewsbury sixth, Christopher Heller seventh, Zach Rogers eighth, David Westergreen, broadcasting professional, he's starting ninth, Dennis Weeks Jr. in 10th, Michael Vandermeer in 11th, John Simpson will be starting 12th tonight, Tristan Varkowski will be starting 13th, Craig Martin 14th. You've got Casey Carrington, league owner, he's starting 15th tonight. Shane Gentry in 16th. Kyle Hall, another one of the admins here for the All-American ARCA Series, he's starting 17th. Alec Burton 18th. Devin Scroggins in 19th. You got Ryan Perkins, Team Goon Squad's shining star, he's starting in 20th. Justin Ray 21st. Patrick Hernandez 22nd. Robert Mathis Jr. starting 23rd. Andrew Nary in the 6.54. He's starting 24th. Not the qualifying he wanted to see. Bruce Pearson will be starting 25th. Chris Culpepper 26th. Curtis Martin 27th. Careless Thiel in 28th. Tyler Evans 29th. Nick Terrell 30. Jose Acosta in 31st. Josh Mayu 32nd. Josh Thompson 33rd. And Greg Snellbaker will be in 34th to round out our field. Mason, that's an absolute mouthful, my friend.
Absolutely, James. That was 34 names that you just listed off there, and absolutely, we got a lot of really long last names here. But as everyone gets out onto the track here, it looks like we got a little bit of a weird formation going on. Everyone's just kind of, off in their own little place there. It's kind of amusing.
Yeah, not sure what the drivers are doing on that one. These guys will have, I think, 2 warm-up laps before the green flag drops. Initial start is on green. Following restarts are up to the leader's discretion. So once the pace car has all 4 tires in pit lane, the leader is clear to hammer down. But, man, all eyes on Eckert right now, the number 90 machine. Can he make it 3 in a row and extend that points gap? Or is the tragedy of the California 200 going to hit him early? We have a crash already. That's going to be 34th place. Tyler Evans is going to bring out the caution there. I'm perplexed. I'm confused. Let's see if we can get a replay on that one. Tyler Evans gives it too much brake, slams into the wall on the 15 machine. He might have had a hardware problem there. Not entirely sure. But that's not a good start, Mason.
Absolutely not. No, it's it almost seemed like it was a hardware fault. Like his brakes just kind of went 100% there, and he just went into full lockup. It's unfortunate to have it happen this early on in the race, but luckily it didn't happen. Once the race actually started, and have it happen, and you lose however many places. Yeah,
most important. I mean, now you've got damaged car. So we did get reports from the pit lane wall. Dylan Smock in the number 60 machine. He's a powerful force in the West region, says Robert Forenbach. I believe I said your name right, Robert. If not, I do apologize. And with Dylan's recent wide record company financial support, he will be feeling a big boost. So Mr. Dylan, number 60 machine, he's got some corporate sponsorship on the line now, so should be helping out his race program.
It's always great to see sponsors come out and help these drivers out to support what they do. It's, a lot of these drivers, they're out here just to have fun, and you have a lot of other drivers too that are really trying to make a name for themselves and stand out here in the iRacing community, and I think that's awesome.
Yes, that's Dylan Smock with his sponsors giving him the full support. Smock will be starting 5th tonight. Behind him, he's got the world's fastest Canadian, Spencer Dewsbury. And then up front, it's once again Eckert, Silvers, Penn's going to be our top 3, taking it off the line as we get ready to go green here at AutoClub Speedway.
I'm really hoping to see a lot of green laps here in the first couple laps of this race here, but with already a yellow flag coming out this early on, I'm Really excited to see what we're going to see here tonight.
Green flag is out. Eckert gets a great start. Behind him, James Silvers, Alex Penn. They're already going 3 wide into 1. That might be a risky move for the guys. Eckert's going to do his best to hammer down. They're 3 wide behind him. That's me, Barkuski, Penn, Silvers, all going 3 wide, trying to get the battle for second underway already. This is the opening lap, Mason. Oh, there's a big crash in the back.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not sure who caused that there, but it looks like there was at least 4 or 5 cars involved in that crash. Let's see if we can get a replay on that.
Trying to see who might have been involved in that one. Hard to see. Let's take it to the back here. I think it's the 86. So that's
looks like the 86 car might have he might have lost the rear end there going into the corner, and went into the wall there.
That's Tristan Varkowski. No, he gets edged by the number 9 machine. Goes for a wild ride. Perkins barely misses him. Andrew Neri may have been involved in that in the 654 machine. Oh, that's going to be a long night for the boys. If this is a sign of things to come.
You know, James, is this that broadcaster curse that you always mention?
No, this is ARCA, my friend. This is going to be the opening laps. Everybody's trying to get things sorted out. Some of these guys didn't quite have the practice that they needed going into tonight. It was such a massive field. This is only the 3rd race of this league's existence. So they just fired off this series. They had huge success from our support from iRacers across the world join in on this. It's, I believe, the biggest ARCA race series going right now. So you got a bunch of guys that have mixed talent and abilities, different sets of hardware, and right now with only 3 rounds in, guys are still feeling each other out. They're not quite sure how hard they can push with each other, see if they can push comfortably and kind of get used to everything. So trying to get used to it here.
Absolutely. And looking at the lineup here, it looks like Tristan Barkowski, he's dropped down an unfortunate 21 positions, and it really is unfortunate to see that happen. Hopefully he'll be able to recover some of those positions, but it's just having that happen this early on in the race it's got to be heartbreaking.
Yeah, let's see. I don't believe I see Barkowski in the pits. No, he is in the pits. He's coming in right now, so he's going to come in for pairs. So we got Jose Acosta, Mr. Thiel, Tristan Varkowski, Tyler Evans, all in the pits from that very first incident. So they've got a long way to go. Now, to their luck, though, if this is a sign of things to come, they should have plenty of opportunities for lucky dogs under future yellow flags. So they very well may be able to get back to the lead lap, try and put down some laps, and get up there and battle for the front.
And hopefully we'll be able to see that happen tonight. Especially when you have these incidents happen this early on in the race, it almost seems fair to let those guys kind of catch back up and race fairly.
Yeah, we hope for their sakes they're able to get the machines fixed and back out there. I'm thinking Barkowski, he's still in the pits. Carrington's out, Acosta's out, Thiel is out. So Varkowski and Evans, the 2 very damaged cars, that's the number 86 of Varkowski and the 15 of Evans, are going to be staying there for a while. I believe it's going to be a single file restart here, Mason. So if they can't do a full lap after a start, they have to try it again, single file, and see if things calm down a little bit. So I think that's what we're about to see.
And hopefully these drivers will be able to keep it clean here in this single file. Looks like they might be going into double file now, or maybe they're just kind of slipping from their line a little bit.
Yeah,
but
guys
either
trying
way,
to get a little bit of space.
Yeah, and hopefully once we see the green flag come down again, it'll be some more green laps.
So it is going to looks like it's a double file restart. So what the admins do here is they will only throw single file restarts if the admins deem it necessary. So I don't believe it's an automatic thing that they have set up in their race lobby. It's a manually thrown thing. So they're going to give the guys another try and see if they can send them back out there and maybe make it a little bit cleaner this time by.
Let's see what these drivers can do. We have Johnny Eckert all the way in the front, Alex Penn second, and Spencer Dewsbury in third. And really, I just want to see some good green laps here and give these guys some good race time in. And not have to deal with these yellow flags.
Yeah, it was. I was very surprised to see that three-way battle for second that early on the run. The guys that consistently finish up front, they know, hey, let's take it easier for a little bit, let the carnage work itself out, put down a little bit of racecraft. So all these guys vying for position, but pace car is in. We're going to get ready to send them off for the second time tonight.
Let's see what happens here. We have Johnny Eckert in the number 90 car leading first. He has a very nice gap, and it looks like we have David Westergreen falling behind a little bit there, possibly, or unless that was someone else I'm looking at. But Johnny Eckert's pulling out a very nice gap here. He has a roughly a 0.36 second gap over the secondary car now. Excuse me, a 0.28 second gap.
Yeah, you got Eckert out front, followed by Heller, then Westergreen, Dewsbury, and just a massive swarm of cars behind him. Everybody's trying to get their life settled out here, but it looks like the top three guys are pretty happy going single file for just a little bit. You got Dewsbury, he's trying to make a pass on Westergreen right now, but not sure how hard he's going to press this early on to make something happen.
Absolutely, and we see down there on the bottom line there too, he's using kind of an interesting line, almost going on the apron, trying to, I guess, give himself more angle going into the corner, and now he's side by side with the number 90 car, number 18 Christopher Heller, and we're seeing a little bit of a battle here for first place as Christopher Heller falls behind Johnny Eckert going into the next turn here.
Yeah, Heller's put down the best lap of the race with a 43.76. That's about a quarter second faster than Eckert's put down so far. So Heller, after watching Eckert win or lead every single lap last week at Phoenix, he's saying, all right, I want up there. I want a shot at this. Let's get me out front and get his sponsors some good airtime here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are definitely trying their best to give the leading guys as much performance as they can, at least giving them space and not giving them too much of a hassle here. And so far we still have Johnny Eckert and Christopher Heller battling it out for first and second in the front, and third and fourth and fifth are kind of just hanging out, just kind of doing their thing behind them.
Yeah, those guys are real smart. They're going to tuck in single file for a little while and just see where things work out. You've got the number 97 Dennis Weeks Jr. He's holding off Alex Penn in the 30 machine. We've got a few off tracks. We've got Josh Thompson off track, Ryan Perkins off track. So let's see if we can get a replay on that.
Well, and at least they got a few green laps in before the next yellow flag came out.
Oh, I think we tuned in just in time to see, oh, both Goon Squad cars getting collected. Not sure what happened there.
Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. 51 car getting involved in that as well. 51 being Josh Thompson.
So let's get that angle and back it up a little bit. Not sure what happened there. That's the 17 in front or behind Perkins. 17 is James Silver. So let's get a slow-mo on this and see what happens here. Try and get the best angle we can. You got Andrew Neri on the left side of your screen, the 654. Ryan Perkins, the number 8. Looks like the 17 goes to make it 3 wide. And not quite sure what happens there, but he gets in the corner panel of Ryan Perkins. Perkins dives to the inside of the track, hits his teammate Andrew Neri. And then how bad does Neri get it here? Looks like Neri did a pretty decent job keeping it off the wall. He got a little bit of contact on the left side, but then poor Perkins goes around. And I believe it was the 51 gets into him, and just a lot of people having a bad night.
Yeah.
That's the 51 Josh Thompson involved in that one.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see a lot of these incidents happening this early on in the race. And hopefully as the race progresses too, these drivers will be able to kind of get a little bit more comfortable with each other and not be so aggressive, especially with drivers that they've never raced against before.
Yeah, it's going to be a long night if they can keep it going at this rate, but I mean, we did make it a little bit further than I thought we would. We're on our second caution on lap 10, if you don't count the one we had under the green flag start. So It's about a 5-lap run right now, so they're getting a little bit better, getting it figured out.
Slowly but surely, they're figuring it out. They're starting to get used to what they need to do here, and it's really only the middle and back of the pack that's having issues here. Front of the pack is doing an excellent job, as we're seeing, and it's unfortunate to see it, but hopefully we'll see these guys that are struggling a little bit more pick up the pace and hopefully pull off a full race here.
Yeah, they're going to have a long night ahead of them if this is any sign of calm. I think we have Andrew Neri. He's coming to the pit lane. I believe Perkins stayed out, so Varkowski, he's back in the pit lane. Perkins, Neri, and Evans all in pit lane right now trying to get some repairs done and get those machines fixed up so they can get back out there. Still going to be Eckert up front, Heller in second. Westergreen's moved up. He's up 6 spots into third. Spencer Dewsbury fourth. Zach Rogers in fifth for the next restart.
Let's see what these drivers are going to do here after the second caution. I'm really going to be kind of focused on the back of the pack here too, at least as far as what the drivers are going to do. If they're going to keep it clean and not do what we just saw here in the second caution, or if we're going to continue to see these incidents happen.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has off nights. It's just if you're going 200 miles an hour, your off nights can be worse. I think as these guys kind of get the bugs settled out, the racing's going to keep getting cleaner and cleaner. And then you'll see guys that kind of consistently find themselves involved in wrecks, calling it quits, and not having as much fun. But generally, the rule of thumb is if you're always involved in a crash, you have to look at yourself and go, all right, what can I do not to be in this situation? So we're going to see drivers still figuring out. It's still early on in the season. This is round 3. A new series, a bunch of new drivers with each other as well, even though the field is very varied on skill set. So I think they're going to get the bugs worked out and just keep rocking and rolling and get it dialed in as the season goes on.
Absolutely, and if a lot of these drivers continue to race in this series, I think it's going to be important for them to get that dialed in as soon as they can, because you don't want to be struggling with these issues later on in the series. It just won't work out well for you. You'll be working harder to get higher up in points than you will if you just work on what you need to do now and get better at it as soon as you can and be a competitor.
That's right, man. You can't win the race from pit lane, as they always say. We're going to get ready to re-rack them once more, see if Eckert can click off some more laps out front. We've only made it about 7 or 8 laps under green, so everybody's tires still feeling pretty good. But here we go at AutoClub, as Eckert gets a pretty good launch, followed by Heller and Westergreen second and third. Let's see if the field sorts themselves out just a little bit, or if it's going to be straight bonsais from the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like Westergreen took the smart decision there, falling behind Christopher Heller, getting a little bit of his draft there, but unfortunately he's kind of fallen back a little bit, and now he's got Spencer Dewsbury in the 77 car right on his tail with Zach Rogers, Dennis Weeks, and I believe Zach Rogers as well, all chasing right behind him.
What a shot. Shows you just how many drivers we have out there and the different lines people are taking. This is your battle for third right now. So Westergreen, he's got Rogers and Dewsbury all over him. He's trying to make that car at least 2 lanes wide, but, man, he's got a freight train coming behind him right now.
Absolutely. He's got a massive stack of cars behind him, and he's going to have to work overtime to keep where he's at. He might even have to try and take advantage of some of these cars and try and use some of them as a way to keep himself in that position, but it's going to be really difficult with so many cars behind him. I'm really curious to see if he's going to be able to pull it off here.
Yeah, Westergreen's doing a good job. You're starting to see a few of those fast guys run the high line a little bit more. Maybe they're trying to save some tires and carry a little bit more speed. It's tough to see if Dewsbury's getting any sort of run on him there, because they run the outside of the line, use as much of the track as they can to carry some speed, and then drop down the apron for the start-finish line. So I'm curious to see if these guys keep running the top line, how long will we go before it gets tight and gives that wall just a little bit of a love tap before things get bad. But so far so good. Guys are running great. Eckert and Heller working strong together. I believe Heller just put down another fast lap of 41.7. These guys are not getting much slower here.
Heller are actually taking over Johnny Eckert from first as well, going into that turn there. Now Johnny Eckert is chasing behind Heller. Looks like Christopher Heller finally broke Johnny's leading lap record.
Yeah, so last week Eckert led start to finish. Now it's Heller's turn. He goes, all right, I'm at least one. We're going to knock old Johnny off the throne here. And so far he's doing good. So now we have to think, is Eckert going to follow in tow and just save a little bit of fuel and tires, knowing he has the pace to run with Heller? Or is he going to push hard early on in this race and get back out front and show the newcomer Heller what it takes to keep leading these races?
Yeah, absolutely. And really, it's Johnny Eckert's game here. He has two options. He can do as you said. He can continue to push hard and try and overtake Christopher Heller now and retake that first position and hold it, or he can play it a little bit smarter and he can try and conserve his tire wear a little bit more, conserve fuel, and just stay behind Christopher Heller and maintain that position as long as he can, because they still have a nice gap between the third position and everyone below them. So they can play this game of cat and mouse for a little bit and kind of just work with each other and finish this race that way if they want to.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Heller and Eckert stay single file for a little while. Because behind them, they've got Dewsbury and Westergreen that were going too wide for half the racetrack. So that's going to slow that second pack down a good bit here. So, I mean, they've got 4 cars working together. If they can drop in single file just for a couple laps, they can whittle away at that 1 second lead that Heller has over third place David Westergreen. I believe we had a little bit of wall action there. Spencer Dewsbury might have gotten to the wall. He's wall riding all the way through. I believe that's 1 and 2. He's kind of stuck on the high line there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see that too. He lost quite a few positions there. I'm not seeing it right now, but it's it's just one of those things too where if you're not careful, if you're not paying attention to how hard you're going into these corners, you're gonna end up giving that wall a nice little love tap. And luckily he didn't make it a worse situation. He just kind of rode it out, made it out safely, but now he'll just have to work back those positions that he lost.
Yeah, Dewsbury was running in as high as 4th. Now he's showing in 19th. He's down 13 spots now from his original starting point. So Dewsbury having a very, very rough night with that. Just a little bit of contact slowed him down so much.
And if you saw that on his car there too, it looks like his front right tire there not looking too healthy. He might have to pit here in the next lap or two. Actually, Barkowski's going in now in the number 86 car. I'm not sure if that was the car that we were looking at there.
No, Barkowski, he was involved in that early incident. He got hooked really hard into the wall. So Barkowski's coming in every now and then, just fixing a little bit of damage. Ideally, he's trying to wait for yellow flags, come in, do a minute of damage here, a minute of damage there to get back out there. But with his green flag run finally starting to develop, you're going to see him coming in under green flag conditions to get his car fixed. We saw Andrew Derry did the same thing with the 654 machine. He came in and got some more repairs, put him down at least a lap. So, yeah, Derry, he's down 7 laps already.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate to see that too. Team Goon Squad absolutely is not having a terrific night tonight for Andrew Neri. I'm looking for the other Team Goon Squad racer, but right now we have Christopher Heller still leading the pack. David Westergreen actually is in the number 2 spot now. Johnny Eckert's in number 3. Let's see how that's going.
Oh, just as we pan to him, Christopher Heller, the current race leader, he gets into the wall a little bit. So Westergreen's going to be able to reel down just a little bit of time here. It was a 0.7 second gap. He's already gained 0.2 of a second with Eckert right behind Westergreen right now. So these cars are starting to tighten up as the run develops. And then Heller lost a bunch of time. He's down to 0.3, about 0.4 second gap as Westergreen and Eckert are charging hard, trying to get back up to that race leader. And maybe Westergreen can lead some laps tonight.
I think Westergreen is kind of feeling it tonight. I think he wants to lead this race a little bit tonight, and he might be able to pull it off. He's got a little bit of help from Eckert behind him with a little bit of a bump draft. Going into this corner too, they're both just holding a solid single file line, trying to catch up to Christopher Heller, and I think Heller is feeling the pressure a little bit.
So Mason, the top seven's pretty much single file. Everybody's playing nice and playing safe. Look at this battle for 8th right now.
This here,
you've got Hernandez out front, Barkuski in the 25 machine. This is a very thick battle right now. This is for 8th place. So Hernandez, Barkuski, Vandermeed, Hall, John Simpson Jr., Justin Ray all up in the mix here. That's a whole lot of cars battling for position.
Absolutely, and it just goes to show, as we were talking about earlier, we're going to have a little bit of difference between how the different packs are sort of racing here. We're seeing almost a very clear difference in each pack's driving style, I guess you could say. We have the front of the pack that's driving single file almost the entire time, doing a very good job of holding their lines. And you have the middle of the pack sort of just doing what they can, trying to figure out a line that works for them. And the back of the pack is, they're just there to race.
It's exciting. Everybody's picking a different line. Maybe not one in particular. They're trying all of the lines, but they'll go 2, 3 wide, drop down relatively single file. You see a little bit of 2 wide action down the back straight here, but for the most part, these guys are just trying to gain a spot, trying to make something happen. But that camera angle really shows just how thick that pack is, trying to make something happen. It looks like Barkuski's able to get away from it just a little bit and avoid the shenanigans behind him. He's going to try and catch a tow from Dylan Smock in front of him in the 60 machine. And then, yeah, I mean, so far these guys are racing a lot cleaner than we have seen the opening rounds here of the All-American ARCA Series. So the guys are getting it settled. They're getting it dialed in. As the cars tighten up and they get a little bit slower, I think you see a little bit less risky passes going on and a little bit more racing.
Yeah, absolutely, James. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more just smarter racing here as we carry on. And going into lap 24, so far it's looking great. Everyone's doing a really good job. We're actually seeing some pretty risky maneuvers coming in here, and we're watching, I believe.
That's Spencer Dewsbury. The camera on top of his car gives you a really good view of just how exciting it is in front of him. You can hear how early he's lifting on the brakes just a little bit, starting to rotate that car with the throttle as they go 2 wide in front of him. Up, Dewsbury has a moment. He lifts. He was pushing 2 wide, so car is definitely tightening up already, making it a little bit more exciting to drive here.
Yeah, and I hope that these drivers are having a lot of fun right now with this race. It's very entertaining to watch, and I hope everyone at home is having is enjoying watching it as well. Excuse me for my words. And honestly, the beginning
we got
of the
somebody
race
spinning right there. We got Jose Acosta. He went off in the start-finish line, and he had a moment. See if we get a replay of that. So Acosta, he's in the 48 machine. He gets bumped, I believe, from the 30. I'm not sure who that was, but then does the right thing, locks it up in the grass there. But it's so hard to slow down when you're in the grass. Stays off the racing line, though, so we stay green for this one. So well done to Acosta in the 48 machine, allowing these guys to keep going green.
Yeah, absolutely. Acosta did an amazing job there, just keeping it off the track and making sure that he didn't cause any other incidents that didn't need to happen. And hopefully he'll be able to recover those lost positions. It's unfortunate to see that happen to him there. It wasn't his fault at all, too, so I'm sure he's probably a little bummed out.
So it looks like he is able to stay on the lead lap at least. So we still have 31 drivers on the lead lap. So still tons of racing. We've got about 73 more laps to go. I think you'll see drivers start pitting around the lap 30 to 35 window, come in for tires because they're slowing down a good bit. Even race leader Christopher Heller, he's over 1.2 seconds slower than what he was at the beginning of the race. So tire wear is coming to factor from him, but I think he's going to stay out as long as he can because Westergreen and Eckert still putting down slower lap times than race leader Heller. So he's going to ride it out as long as he possibly can and keep extending that gap.
Yep, absolutely. I think Christopher Heller's best bet right now is to just stay out in front as long as he can for at least another 4 or 5 laps, as long as he's comfortable with, and just avoiding letting the people behind him, David Westergreen and Johnny Eckert, to overtake his position, or at least, try and beat him through strategy alone.
Yeah, I do love seeing green flag pit stops. Can really shake things up. You get to see drivers play a little bit differently with strategy and really mixes things up. But, I mean, Heller is putting on a pretty dominant performance right now. Westergreen and Eckert are running great. You can't detract anything from them, but that is over a second gap to first place Christopher Heller right now.
Yeah, they definitely have a big gap to catch up with, and so far they're doing I think a decent job of staying in front of one another, staying single file, and trying to use each other's draft as a way to get themselves as close to Christopher Heller as possible. But it's just seeming not to work for them too well. Christopher Heller is just maintaining that gap very well.
Absolutely stacked field here tonight. It is really encouraging, though, to see as these drivers get used to racing. We're seeing a little bit longer green flag runs. I'm sure I'll jinx it now with the old broadcaster's curse, but I mean, this is way better than the opening round Daytona did. This is way better than Phoenix did. We saw the green flag run starting to develop at Phoenix until we saw folks on different tire strategies coming out and mixing it up. But I mean, we're again only race 3 into the series. We've got a whole lot more action to go, so I am excited to see what's going to keep happening on us. This is quickly shaping up to be the premier ARCA series out there right now.
Yeah, this series is honestly, it's great to watch. It's a lot of fun to see these racers come out here and participate in this race every week. We have 34 drivers here tonight, and they're all just trying their hardest and putting on the best show that they possibly can. And Christopher Heller obviously came out here to win, and I think he might possibly do it.
So this is round 3, California 200 at AutoClub Speedway, 100 laps. Next week we're at the Las Vegas 200, so at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That will be a night race for these guys. I believe the first one of the season so far. Then we got the week after that will be off for Independence Day. But oh, look at this! Here comes Eckert trying to make a move, trying to regain second place here.
And hopefully that Johnny Eckert might be able to use Westergreen now as sort of as a boost for it, but it looks like they're gonna have a little bit of a fight over it. But nope, looks Eckert pulls out in front of Westergreen now, and now it's just a matter of is Westergreen gonna try and take it back from him.
Yeah. So while they were doing that, Heller extended his lead to 1.8 seconds. So Eckert and Westergreen may be communicating, going, "Hey, I think I've got the pace. Why don't you tuck in behind me for a little bit, and we'll click off some laps." We still have 60-something laps to go before we really need to battle each other too hard. So you might be seeing a little bit of strategy among our drivers saying, "Hey, this is what we got to do to catch the front. Are you willing to do it with me?" And then they might work together. They might not. But they're going to try and whittle away that gap bit by bit as Heller is still 1.85 ahead of this second place Johnny Eckert.
Absolutely, and looks like Dennis Weeks Jr., excuse me for butchering your name there for a second, on the 97 car, he's quickly catching up to the lead pack here. I think he's itching to get up and have some action out in the front of the pack here.
Yeah, he was about, Dennis Weeks Jr., he's about 2/10 off from David Westergreen that last time by. So I think he might be able to suck into that draft just a little bit and get back up there. And then we've got Curtis Martin. He's having problems. Looks like Martin may be coming into pit there. I'm not quite sure, but that's your battle for 19th going on. So, I mean, from 1st to 20th, there's still action all over the racetrack right now.
Yeah, it's honestly, you can pick any part of the track right now and you're going to see something interesting, right? This is a perfect example here. I mean, we have cars all over the place. These guys are trying their hardest to just do whatever they can, gain any positions that they possibly can, and hold their lines as best as they can.
Yeah, this is the battle for 18th right now, Mason. So you've got Josh Thompson up front of this pack in 51, Patrick Hernandez, Spencer Dewsbury, Bruce Pearson, Casey Carrington, Curtis Martin, all in the thick of it right here. And then we see Varkowski. He's coming back into the pit to try and get some repairs done. But again, this is 18th place, and they're charging extremely hard right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Spencer Dewsbury got a little bit of a love tap there from, I think it is the number 50 car, I think.
50 would be Greg Snellbaker. He's going back and forth with Curtis Martin right now. 50's on the inside in that beautiful Tide-looking paint scheme. The yellow number 50, that's going to be Curtis Martin on the outside in the 04.
Yeah, and we're seeing just great racing now from these guys too in the middle of the pack. I think once everyone got themselves dialed in, got comfortable with the cars, they pulled it together, and now they're just putting on the best race that they possibly can, and it's impressive to watch now. It's great. We're in lap 36, and these guys they're racing now. It's great.
We're going to take it to 10th place. That's John Simpson Jr. He's trying to chase down Justin Ray in the 38 machine. Ray's run the low line, and then Simpson's running a little bit higher line in front of them. They've got James Silvers in the 17. They go side by side down the backstretch. This is your battle for 8th place right now. So you're starting to see a lot of cars entering the pits. You got Patrick Hernandez coming in, Chris Culpepper, Alex Penn, all coming into pit lane. They're going to take tires and say, all right, let's get a little bit looser car back underneath us. But now, Mason, now is where you can see some cautions coming out. So you're going to have guys with older tires. You're going to have guys with newer tires mixed in right now. So that can make for a little bit of an exciting time.
Yeah, absolutely, James. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of some of the drivers on these older tires. They're going to be expecting a lot of these cars to be driving a little bit slower, and these guys coming onto the track with fresh tires are going to be moving pretty fast, and I think it's going to possibly throw these guys off a little bit that are on their older tires still.
Yeah, Chris Culpepper's coming out, Alex Penn's coming out, Patrick Hernandez coming out. You should be seeing Dylan Smock should be leaving the pits here pretty soon. So a large portion of the field opting to go a lap down early on, and we'll see if that's going to shake things up right now. Right now, it looks like Heller's fell pretty far off the pace. Eckert's right behind him now. Heller might have cooked his tires. He did a 44.53, a full second slower than Johnny Eckert that last lap. So not sure if we'll be expecting to see Heller coming in soon since the pace is dropping off, or if he's going to hold on to it as long as he can and try and keep Eckert just one spot behind him.
Yeah, and Christopher Heller too, he's doing a great job right now of just trying to maintain his spot. Johnny Eckert's, it's been great to see his fight to try and work his way back up to that first position, and it's honestly a great thing too to see Christopher Heller leading this race right now. Letting someone may not lead as many races get a chance in the spotlight every now and then is nice for these racers.
So Heller, he's currently in 9th in points right now. He's only done one race for his 2511 racing team. So I mean, he's got 46 points. He had a great finish last time by. So let's see if he can do it again and maybe salvage some points. But Eckert, if he can just stay up there in the top 3 every weekend, he's in a good place for a championship run.
Absolutely, and I think what Heller's trying to do here is he's trying to do exactly that, is just work himself up the points ladder. And if he can pull off a first place win tonight, that would be a huge step up for points for him.
Yeah, sorry,
go ahead.
Didn't mean to step on you, Mason. Heller did get second last week. He started third, stayed up there the entire time. It kind of came down to pit strategy at the end where Eckert was able to keep it out there. So we know he's got the pace to run up front. So the question is, how are things going to settle on later in the run? You've got two guys that are very, very consistent and smooth. And, I mean, I'm hoping as a broadcaster and racer to see a little bit of pit strategy come into play and start seeing who's the best driver and the smartest driver as well.
Absolutely, and with both Christopher Heller and Johnny Eckert, they both have not pitted yet, and I think that's going to be very interesting to see how that's going to work out for them, as we're starting to see a lot of these other drivers starting to pit in now. How is that going to work out for them, do you think?
I think with these guys, the pace they're having and what they're putting over, gaining the gap consistently on third place, David Westergreen, I think you're going to see them stay out as long as they possibly can just on the fuel window alone. I mean, they're about almost 2 full seconds slower than their personal best that they did early on in the night. And now that I see some top 5 guys like Brandon Barkuski in the 25 machine, he's coming into pit lane, it's got to be in the back of the mind of these drivers going, all right, are we going to run it till empty, or are we going to maybe go for an undercut? But a lot of the field is starting to come in, so I don't know how much longer these guys are going to stay out before they try and come in for tires as well.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys definitely have to be sitting there thinking to themselves, you know, we're getting real close to having to pit here, and I think the longer that they wait, the more they risk possibly getting themselves into an incident, losing the rear end, or it's just getting into a situation that they don't want to find themselves in. And I think that it would be wise for them to pit as soon as they can, versus trying to just stay out as long as they can.
So to give you an idea of how much faster fresh tires are, look at Alex Penn in the number 30 machine. He's a lap down from the race leaders, but his last time by, he dropped a 42.94, so he's about a second faster a lap than our current top two. He's just having to really pick and choose here where he's going to try and make a pass, because the last thing he wants to do is collect the leaders as they go 3 wide, and I believe Alex Penn is going to get his lap back there.
Yeah, absolutely. He played it smart, pitting in when he did. Now he's able to kind of push himself back up the positions a little bit, and hopefully regain some lost positions and maybe even gain some new ones. It's gonna be really interesting to see what all these drivers are gonna do here after they pitted and get back onto the racetrack.
Here they come, Johnny Eckert, Christopher Heller. They're going to come into pit lane here. They're going to take 4 tires, full fuel, and get back out there. So let's see who I think Dennis Weeks Jr. came in, James Silvers, Robert Mathis Jr. all coming in. So I believe the next race leader is going to be Mr. Thiel in the 01 machine. Or no, Johnny Eckert's still out there. My apologies. So Eckert, he's got a 15-second gap over second place, about a 17-second gap over third place. Second place did pit on lap 2. We see Eckert coming in now. And then
And I think
fourth place, Jose Acosta, he pitted on lap 9.
Yeah, I think Johnny Eckert just pulled off a very strategic move here by waiting until his competition pitted first, because now he's got a pretty large gap over his competition. It's going to be interesting to see what these guys are going to do now.
Yeah, I'm intrigued as well. Alex Penn is probably one of the fastest drivers out there on a relatively fresh set of tires, number 30. Brandon Barkuski, though, he's on the same pit window as the leaders in the 25. He came in on lap 42. So I'm curious to see how this is going to shake down. But right now it's Thiel in the 01 machine leading the charge. He's up 27 positions so far. Granted, he hasn't pitted except early on in the race. Nick Thorell, he's also up there in the number 81. So all these drivers doing a good job getting a little bit of TV time and getting back in the mix of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Carlos Thiel out in front. He's having a great time right now, just leading the pack. And I think for a lot of these guys too, being able to just have some TV time is always going to be nice for them. You know, just hearing your name being said is always a great feeling. And it hopefully gives them a little bit of motivation to push as hard as they can and just be a competitor. As you grow and progress more as a racer, you start to get used to working with other drivers, new drivers even, and just wanting to be the best that you can and learning from everyone around you.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers are in teams, so they're in their separate team channels. They're able to communicate back and forth. Hey, how's the tires feel? How are you looking on fuel so far? And maybe strategize a little bit. And that allows some up-and-coming racers to kind of latch on to the really fast guys and gain a little bit of knowledge here and there. So you can see Mr. Thiel, he's going to, I'm not sure what he's doing. He just swerves all the way across the racetrack. He may be signaling, hey, I'm pitting this time by, and realizes, I'm about out of gas. But Andrew Neri in the 654, he swings to the outside. The number 86 machine as well goes to the far outside. That's going to be Tristan Varkowski involved with those early incidents. So now Thiel's going to come in, and a couple of racers are going to be able to try and get at least one lap back now.
It was very interesting to see Carlos Thiel kind of whip across the track like that. He almost caused an incident there with the driver behind him. Luckily, he didn't. I wonder what his intentions were there. If he was just trying to get over to the pit lane as quickly as he could, or what he was trying to do there.
If I had a guess from a racer's point of view, I didn't realize he was. I'm betting he didn't realize he was almost out of gas until he was out of gas. So he might have a crew chief or something who's going, hey, you need to pit right now, which doesn't give you a whole lot of time to get things sorted out before you kind of yeet yourself across the racetrack. So that's my guess here, was he realized I've got to pit now, and it doesn't matter what's around me. If I don't get down to the pit lane, I'm going to run out of gas, and I'm going to lose my race here. So that's my guess. We'll talk to Theo later and see if we can get it going on, or we might send Mason down there later and try and do an in-car interview. But that's just one broadcaster's guess.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what happened there. Yeah, I almost want to agree with you there in that he probably just didn't realize that he was very, very close to being out of fuel, and he just had to get into the pit lane as soon as he could. But back on the track here, we have Jose Acosta out in front, and then we have Brandon Barkuski and Christopher Heller, second and third. Right now, it looks like Christopher Heller is trying to get back up to the top of the pack here. He's still just a little bit behind Barkuski. Trying to catch back up to Barkuski, I think, and hopefully get a little bit of draft support from him and catch up to the first position here once the leader is back on the track, if he isn't already.
Yeah, Costa's still clicking off laps in the 48. I don't believe he has any laps led for the season yet. He did come in on lap 3 early on to the run, so he has a little bit more fuel than everybody else did that did not come in. So he's able to stay out, click off some laps, get a little bit of TV time, and represent well the number 48 machine, who's going to be coming around once more. So probably expecting to see Acosta come in the next 5-6 laps tops before he has to under fuel. But right now he's got a 4-second gap on Barkuski. Barkuski does have fresh tires, so when he gets up there, he should be coming around pretty darn quickly. He's over a second and a half faster. But it looks like they're battling with Heller and Barkuski right now. This is your battle for second. So let's see, we've got Mason. He's down on pit wall. He's asking Theo what might have happened there, but this is your race for second. Brandon Barkuski in the 25, Christopher Heller in the 18. They're going to go side by side. Here comes Johnny Eckert in the mix, going to make it 3. A 3-way battle for second. Barkuski out front. Eckert in the second place in that pack. Heller, who's running 4th. He's kind of watching the number 18 machine. Are they going to take it 3 wide? I don't think they are across the start-finish line. It's 2 wide with Eckert and Heller side by side. Barkuski's out front. And again, this is just a battle for second. Acosta's still out front. He's about 1.5 seconds ahead, but rapidly losing pace compared to the guys behind him. And then Acosta is on a very old set of tires. Eckert goes across the racetrack. Not sure if there was some bumping and grinding going on or what might have happened. But this is a darn good battle. Mason, what happened out on pit wall out there?
Not too sure what happened down there on pit wall, actually. A little bit of confusion, possibly. I think I honestly am not really too sure. Didn't really get a whole lot of answers as far as what happened down there. It just seems like it might have a net issue or something along those lines.
Oh, guys, that's what happened with Thiel?
Yeah, I'm assuming so.
Got it. We do have a heck of a battle for second place, or for the lead right now. That's Christopher Heller on the left side of your screen. Johnny Eckert's on the right side. Behind them, you've got Brandon Barkuski. It's going to be a 3-way battle for first. None of these guys content going single file right now. They're all charging hard. Heller's going to hold on to it through the corner, but Eckert's on the inside line, and Barkuski is just watching on the out. Just waiting to see which driver looks like they're going to have a little bit more speed, and whoever he tucks behind will have a very big draft advantage.
Yeah, it's right now these guys are going to be really trying to use each other's drafts as sort of a way to give themselves an advantage over the other driver. But Christopher Heller right now is doing a good job of using Johnny Eckert of him. I think he's doing a good job strategy-wise of trying to stay in front of him as much as he can, not letting Johnny Eckert have any room to get around him.
Yeah, all of these guys riding very, very close and pushing pretty aggressively. I don't think anybody's really have tire wear in the back of their head right now, but you think it's the last lap as you see guys how hard they're pushing each other down these straightaways and right on the rear bumper of race leader Christopher Heller.
Yeah, he is definitely trying to get into that first position. And Brandon Barkuski too. He's trying to join in on the action as well. He's still got a. Actually, he's just joined them in the pack. He's gonna give Johnny Eckert a little bit of a bump draft as well going into this turn here, and see if it gives him a little bit of advantage. It does not. He's gonna go low as well. He might even be trying to get side by side with Johnny Eckert and try and compete for that first position with Johnny.
Now these ARCA Menards cars, they are very good at drafting. They're so powerful once you drop in behind somebody, how hard you can really push. Then these side drafts. Oh, we got a caution, Jason.
Let's see who. Let's see what happened this time.
I'm not seeing it. I think it might have been Varkowski possibly involved. Let's see. I can't find it here. I don't see it. Oh, this could have been it. No, that's Josh Mayu. He's avoiding what something's going on in front of him. It's the 51 and 77. Spencer Dewsbury. Not quite sure what brought out the caution on that one. That's a little odd.
And we have everyone going into pit lane now as well.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, really, the entire field's coming in here.
Yeah, it looks like they might. You think they're doing a safe restart?
No, I don't think so. I think this is a something's going on, but I'm not quite sure what. We're about halfway through. There's no stages with this race, and I believe everyone except for Culpepper, Alec Burton, and Michael Vandermeet are coming down pit lane for 4 tires. And I say 4 tires. I'm seeing some really quick pit stops there, so it's a drag race off. Who's going to get it up front? Did Heller? I think Barkuski might have edged out Heller, so it's going to be Chris Culpepper, Alec Burton, Michael Vandermeet, Johnny Eckert, Brandon Barkuski, Christopher Heller, Dennis Weeks Jr., John Simpson Jr., David Westergreen, and Alex Penn will be our top 10 on this restart for our 3rd caution of the night.
Very interesting, too, what happened there. I'm curious to know why everyone went into pit lane there. It's very unusual to see that happen. And now we have the front of the pack, too, completely changed up, and I'm sure that won't last very long. But we'll see what Chris Culpepper, Alec Burton, and Michael Vandermeet can all do here now that they're all in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd positions.
Yeah, live timing did not show a crash on our screen, so I'm not sure if maybe somebody got into the wall and rapidly slowed down, or maybe something else happened. But this is going to shake things up. We see Vandermeet, he's coming in for tires, but Culpepper and Burton staying out, it looks like. So these guys are on a little bit over 20 lap older tires than the really fast guys behind them. So that's going to be exciting for Eckert, Barkuski, Heller, all to try and get through this and see if they can quickly get by the guys on slightly older tires and get back out there.
Yeah, and hopefully that the leaders before that incident happened will be able to get back out into the front of the pack quickly. My notes have kind of taken a little bit of a break here for a second now that they're back. Let's see. We have Johnny Eckert in 4th right now, and he's not going to have too much trouble getting back up into the 1st position. Christopher Heller is in 5th right now behind Barkuski. So these guys are definitely not going to have too much of a struggle getting back up to their leader positions. But now that we have a few different competitors out in front, I'm curious to see if these guys are going to be able to hold it or if they're going to lose it immediately.
Yeah, things get shaken up. I think we see a few lap down cars. I'm not sure. That's going to be Ryan Perkins that will probably get the wave around once we're getting ready to go 1 to go. So that's Perkins, the number 8 machine. He's going to be at the front of your screen.
It's nice to see too that excuse me. It's nice to see that Perkins is able to recover some of these lost laps here and catch back up with the rest of the field.
Yeah, waiver rounds and lucky dogs in effect. So if a caution comes out and you're front of the leader, we'll get back to that. Green flag is out. Alec Burton is out front. Chris Culpepper, though, looks like he's leading the pack there, trying to hold on to it. And Johnny Eckert's going to eke on by, so you can see Culpepper quickly getting work to the back here as Johnny Eckert wants to get going. Not sure why Alec Burton still shows up front. That's odd. Maybe the timing hasn't updated yet?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. It's a little confusing why Burton's still showing out front.
Is there another yellow flag?
Actually, yes, there is.
So something very odd just happened there. It still shows Alec Burton on top of timing and scoring. But Burton shows 43 seconds ahead. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. That's a very odd thing to see. They may have had some problems going on. Not quite sure.
We are definitely seeing some very interesting things happen tonight. Yeah.
So I wonder if Alec Burton shows at the back of the pack here. So Alec Burton, the number 3, live timing shows him as your race leader. I think we can all agree that's not right. But it does show him a lap ahead of Johnny Eckert.
Unless he is front of the pack in the back.
No, it shouldn't work like that. iRacing should send all the current lap cars to the front, and it should send everyone else behind them. So I'm a little confused by what's going on here.
Yeah, this is definitely a first for me.
So is it going to give the entire field a wave around here? That's what it looks like?
It looks like it, yeah. Now we're seeing Eckert catching up quickly, and now he's out. Okay.
I think he's got a little bit of internet problems there, but that's what looks like it's happening, Mason. It looks like the entire field is getting a wave around somehow. So something's gone horrifically wrong here. Not sure if maybe somebody fat-fingered some commands and maybe threw a caution by accident. I'm very confused.
Yeah, this seems to be like there was some sort of technical difficulty on the race admin side. This is strange, very strange to say the least. But hopefully it gets sorted out here in the next couple minutes, and these drivers will be able to get back out and race.
Yeah, what they'll probably do is extend the caution here to get everything dialed in. But man, what a weird night. That is definitely something I've never seen on oval racing before.
Yeah, this is definitely a first for me at least. I've never seen anything like this happen before in any race, for that matter. I really am curious to just what happened. It all went from fine to worse in almost a matter of seconds.
Well, while we're getting the field settled out, we're going to run to a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, still getting the field sorted out. We did have the opportunity to talk to race control during the break. There was an issue with timing and scoring, threw everything out of whack, so they've been spending this break trying to get it figured out. get cars back where they need to go. So that's what you're seeing right now. It's a longer yellow than standard as they deal with that timing and scoring issue and trying to figure things out. But so far, Mason, it looks like it's pretty good racing tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's been really good racing so far. We had a couple of hiccups there at the beginning of the race. I believe it was the first roughly 10 laps. We had our first 2 cautions, and then it was green laps from there up until about 5 laps ago, and now we're just starting to sort out these issues that we're having, and luckily it didn't seem like there was any any problems with the drivers themselves that caused this issue. It was just a technical difficulty. So
yeah, looking forward to getting some more racing going on. But excited. I mean, this has been one of the better runs we've seen from the All-American ARCA Series drivers so far. I'm always pleasantly surprised at how good these guys are getting week in. You can tell who's been practicing on the tracks during the downtime, working with their teams and their crew chiefs, trying to get things dialed in, especially as the runs develop. A lot of these guys haven't had the luxury to practice green flag runs. So for some of these guys, tire wear is definitely a new thing as they get used to how it's going out there as the car starts to tighten up.
yeah, absolutely. A lot of these newer drivers that are probably new to the series, they're probably having to spend a lot of time in their off time getting familiar with the car, getting familiar with running green laps, knowing what their tire wear is going to do over time, and getting familiar with pit strategies and all those sorts of things. And you can see that a lot of these more experienced drivers that do have crew chiefs and all that, they're able to put on a very good example for these drivers and kind of show them the ropes, so to speak, in a competitive way.
So as we get ready to go green, as time and scoring gets everything figured out, you got Alec Burton still out front. His last pit stop was on lap 40. Behind him, most of the field pitted on lap 56 for that caution. So Alec Burton's got a long way to go to try and fend off Johnny Eckert, Brandon Barkuski, Christopher Heller. Those guys have been out front all night on great strategy. Alec Burton, he's up 17 spots, and he's scoring some laps led here while they're under caution, so well done to Burton for making it happen.
Absolutely, and looking at Alec Burton's best lap time too, he's got a lap time of 42.38, and looking at Johnny Eckert's, he's got a lap time of 41.79. So Alec Burton's really gonna have his work cut out for him. He's gonna have to push a lot harder than he's probably used to maintain that position. But if he's able to stay behind Johnny Eckert, if Eckert takes over him, he might be able to stay behind him and maintain a second position, assuming that Christopher Heller doesn't come and swoop that position from him.
Now Burton, at the season opener of Daytona, he started 14th, he finished 24th, he ran 92 laps. At Phoenix last week, he was a DNS and DNF, so did not score, or he did score, he was a DNF, excuse me. He finished 84 laps of that race, so Burton's been having a rough start to a series so far, but pace car is in. It's now his chance to try and stay out front and earn some much-needed points.
Absolutely. Let's see what Burton's going to do here coming into this green flag here.
Yeah, green flag is out. Burton's out front. Eckert's in second, so that was a single file restart. Let's see how long can Burton fend off the two-time race winner, Johnny Eckert, who's making quick work of him in the 90 machine.
Yeah, Eckert just made it look effortless getting around Burton in the number 3 car. Just taking the top line and just...
Yellow flag is out. We got Devin Scroggins involved in an incident.
Oh, wow.
So look at Scroggins. He's the number 66 machine, the middle of your screen in that Yoo-Hoo paint scheme. Looks like he just gets loose all by himself, drops down low into the 99, and he goes for a ride. So 99, that's Chris Culpepper. Looks like he got through relatively unscathed. The field does a good job of avoiding that incident, so we're going to re-rack him and go back out.
Yeah, absolutely. The number 99 car did a very good job there of making sure that he didn't run into the back of that car it to the side rather of that car there. And he'll be able to keep his spot in the number 15 position and continue to race here. Yellow caution still out. Johnny Eckert looks very comfortable there in first position. Alec Burton's probably thinking to himself, well, that was a very short-lived lap for me in first position, so what can I do to kind of make it a better one and try and
I wonder now how long is Burton going to stay on that set of tires. They're 16 laps older than the guys around him, but he's in one of his best positions he has been all year. So he has the option to try and stay out as long as he possibly can and salvage some positions, or come in now and then go back out on fresh tires and work through it again. So he might be playing it safe and go, I'd rather slowly work my way to the back than have to battle through all the guys behind me. But he's in a much better spot than he has been all season so far.
Yeah, I think Alec Burton right now is probably in a bit of a conundrum, trying to think of what he wants to do as far as strategy, because he, as you said, his tires are 16 laps old, and you really got to think to yourself. I mean, what is that going to mean for him? It's lap 68 right now, 32 laps to go. It's going to be an interesting one for him.
I think you're going to be able to see a lot of the field go to the end here, especially with how many cautions they have, and Lucky Dog's still in effect. You see the Tide machine run the high line, coming back around, getting a lap back, but that's a tough spot to be in. I think Burton's going to have to pit at least once more, if I mean, just for fuel alone. So I'm intrigued here. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with Burton being up there in currently second place.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him. As I said before, he's got Brandon Barkuski, Christopher Heller right behind him. And both of those two drivers, they're both very, very experienced and very quick drivers. Brandon Barkuski pulling off a 41.86 as his best lap time. Christopher Heller pulling off a 41.70, actually better than the leader right now, Johnny Eckert. So, I mean, Alec Burton, he's going to be working really hard to try and stay in that spot. If he can manage to pull it off and stay there and stay out in front of Barkuski and Heller, it'll be a good race for him and hopefully give him some more points on the ladder.
Yeah, and I think as well, it gets him a lot of experience falling behind those really fast guys that are always out front. So that's good to see as well. And, I mean, he's going to score a lot of points, get a lot of experience all around. He's in a pretty good position here. I mean, he's probably not in a good spot to try and win it with those older tires surrounded by really fast guys, but he's going to take away a lot from this race if he can just stay where he's at.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if he can stay there and try and keep up with these guys, he's going to learn a lot just from being behind them and picking up on, okay, how are these guys going into these corners, you know, figuring out better throttle and just better car management all around. We'll see what he can do here. He's gonna have to pit here soon, so he's not gonna stay there very long, but he's definitely gonna have a good learning experience while he's up here in the top three.
And the scary part about this race is cautions breed cautions. So every time we stack this field up, there's a bunch of guys out there, varying talent, varying tire wear already. That's when things can get more and more exciting after every restart. So usually the top 5 guys able to get through this pretty clean, but behind them anything can happen, as we still have a massive field out here tonight at the AutoClub Speedway. 28 cars still on the lead lap. That is a massive field. Pace car is in. Let's watch Johnny Eckert and Alec Burton and see what type of start they can get here.
We're seeing Alec Burton. He's going to be side by side with Brandon Barkuski. Barkuski's going to take him over there. Heller is out in front. Eckert is right in front of him as well. Barkuski's going to be trying very hard to get into that second position there. He's taking the low side on him there.
Yeah, Barkuski, a man on a mission. Alec Burton, he's dropped down to 9th already, so he does not have the pace of those older tires. And, man, look at him go 3-4 wide down the back straight. Everybody jogging for position, trying to get that preferred line going into 3 and 4 so they can carry just a little bit more speed than their competitors and try and save some tires while they do it. But the battle for third is shaking up. Barkuski's in front of Dennis Weeks Jr., James Silvers, John Simpson Jr., all trying to get up there and get some podium points.
Absolutely. These guys are putting on a really good fight right now, and I think Barkuski might be able to get up to the first and second position here if he can get a little bit of assistance from Dennis Weeks as far as draft support. A little bit of a blip there out of a car. Not sure who that was, but it was minor. And it's so far we're back to good green laps again, and I'm glad to see it. We had a little bit of a break there with yellow flag laps, and I was a little concerned for drivers there for a second. Maybe they're going to get a little bit too relaxed and maybe possibly get into more incidents because of that downtime. But no, they're doing a good job now, and we're back to good racing. It's awesome to see.
We almost had an incident. Craig Martin, he got pushed off track, gets back on, goes back off. That was in the battle for 10th, so they're really fighting hard back there. Let's see if we get a camera angle on Curtis Martin. Give you an idea, they're going 3-4 wide down the backstretch. Martin, he's in the 04 machine. Behind him, Vandermeed's leading a pack of cars. Vandermeed in the 7, Josh Thompson the 51. He's riding the high line. Behind them, they've also got, I believe that is James Silvers in the 17. So a pretty massive battle going on. This is your battle for 10th we're seeing as they're really, really pushing each other.
Yeah, these guys are trying their hardest to get up the ladder as much as they can. The number 7 car, Michael Vandermeed, he's putting on a heck of a fight trying to stay in that number 11 spot. Josh Thompson's actually going to take it from him just a little bit. They're neck and neck with each other right now. And Josh Thompson has a little bit of support, and they're going to go single now into this corner here. Just so far, just really good racing that we're seeing now. It's really good to see with this many drivers on the track. Everyone's just doing a great job of respecting each other and not driving super aggressively.
Yeah, so far so good with about 25 to go this time by. I mean, from 1st to 20th, great battles all across the racetrack. Only 0.2 seconds separate your current race leader, Johnny Eckert, from Christopher Heller, currently running 2nd. Heller's gotten a couple seconds, but he wants 1st, and Eckert wants to keep that winning streak alive. But don't forget, Brandon Barkuski, he's in the mix, the number 25 machine. He's running 3rd within a half a second of 2nd place Heller. But look at this. Here comes Heller on the inside, trying to get a drive on Johnny Eckert. And behind him, Barkuski and Dennis Weeks Jr. going side by side.
We're seeing a lot of these guys, too, start to run side by side with each other, too, as we're getting later into the race. They're starting to get a little bit more brave with trying to overtake one another. And I think as we start to close on the race a little bit more with only 26 laps to go, I think these drivers are going to start pushing a lot harder.
I think as well. These guys know they've got the fuel to make it. They've got enough traction to play with. As you can see, Heller making another dive down the inside. He's going to try and drift up the racetrack, see if he can clear Johnny Eckert. No, he's going to stay down low, make that racetrack as small as possible, use every inch of the apron, carry a little bit more speed. Oh, Heller can't quite make it stick yet. He's running the low to mid-high. Eckert's running the high line. Eckert's got more speed going down the backstretch. They're side by side. Who's going to get it into 3 and 4? Heller is going to yield to Eckert. He's going to drop in line for a little bit and drop back in the tow.
Absolutely. And we're seeing a really good fight between these two. Christopher Heller, Johnny Eckert, they've both just been going back and forth between the 1st and 2nd position. And wow, Christopher Heller is just really, really trying to push on Eckert there, coming up the low line there and getting a lot of distance on Johnny Eckert. He's now side by side going into this corner here. He might be able to get out in front of him, but it looks like Johnny Eckert's just got a little bit more speed than him. He might be able to hold it there. And yeah, they're just going to go side by side right down this straight here.
We're going to make it 3 wide here. They're trying to. Barkuski, he gets his nose in the mix. Oh, just like that, the plot thickens. Barkuski really reels in that lead pack very, very quickly. You see 3 different lines going through 3 and 4 trying to make it happen. Oh, they're 2 wide. They're 3 wide. Barkuski's down low. Heller's in the middle. Eckert's on the high line. Eckert drops down low. He's going to block Barkuski's run. And now he's going to get the lap led.
And Barkuski is just putting up a heck of a fight too, trying to get into that first position. And I think those two drivers out in front, they really weren't expecting him to come out that quickly, and he was creeping up real quick there for a few laps. And I'm glad to see him out in front now. He's definitely putting on a little bit of pressure for these two guys out on front, and I think we're going to see a little bit of interesting racing too, as well as we start to see Dennis Weeks start to join the pack as well.
Yeah, this top three, they're going side by side. Nobody's really going single file up here, so that gives Weeks a whole lot of air that's easy for him to push through. And this is going to be a four-way battle for the lead here shortly with 22 to go. Oh, these guys are really slowing down the race pace when they're driving like this. That's allowing David Westergreen, Kyle Hall, they can start seeing the lead pack as well. They know, oh, just like that, we have a chance of a top five, maybe even a win, because it just takes one mistake from our lead pack. Oh, there's some blocking going on. Heller drops down low in front of Barkuski. Eckert's still out high. Eckert's on the high line. Heller goes low. He's going to get the pass, but for how long? Barkuski, he's driving down the apron as well. They are trading back and forth every lap here. It is a good one at the AutoClub Speedway.
Absolutely, James. We're seeing an awesome race here tonight. Johnny Eckert and Brandon Barkuski both side by side right now, trying to get in front of Christopher Heller. Barkuski's just got a little bit of a lead over Eckert right now. A little bit more speed going into this corner. He's taking the low line. He's almost got Christopher Heller in his sights. I think he might be able to take him on this next turn here if he can get enough speed.
Yeah, Barkuski, he doesn't have the draft support that Heller and Eckert have working for him. Yellow flag is out, though. It's going to reshake the field. That is not what this lead pack wanted to see this early or this late into a run as we get ready to close down. Not quite sure where the crash was on that one.
And it's unfortunate too to see another caution come out too with all these green laps happening now. It's going to be unfortunate for these guys out in front. Hopefully they'll be able to keep it there and maintain it.
They're going to give you some slow-mo of the battle. Look how hard number 90 of Eckert is pushing Heller down the straight. But, man, Barkuski just driving it in. He's had fantastic pace tonight to get himself back up. And, man, what a beautiful shot of your top four racers right there.
Absolutely incredible. It's really great to see. These drivers have been putting on an excellent show tonight, racing very well, very hard. And everyone's getting back into a single file line here as we get set back up and get ready for our next green lap runs.
Now with 20 laps to go, I wonder if we're going to see any competitors come into pit lane and grab some fresh tires for a final sprint race, or if these guys are going to all stay out, because it just takes one guy to drop down to pit lane. Oh, are they going to do it? They are. The lead pack's going to come in and grab 4 tires.
I think everyone's on the same page right now. They're all thinking to themselves, we got 20 laps to go. Let's make this as best of a race as we possibly can. Let's get on some fresh tires. Let's get fuel if needed. And let's get back out there and just have a clean 20 laps.
So on the right side of your live time and scoring, you'll be able to see the PT, the pit time. So about 15 seconds is a full fuel and 4-tire pit stop. So right now you might see a couple of guys only take 2 to try and gain some positions in the pits. It looks to me, though, like everyone in the lead pack is pretty much taking 4 tires.
Yeah, it seems to me like that as well. It looks like everyone is taking 4 tires. And as some of these drivers are getting back out on the track, Carlos Thiel back out in front again, Michael Vandermeed in second, and Christopher Heller in third.
So once again, Thiel, Vandermeed, they're on very old tires, about over 20 lap old tires right now. So I'm not sure if they're going to try and hold on to it. It's going to be about maybe 18, 17 laps to go on the restart, or if it's going to be a monkey wrench thrown into the mix as Heller, Eckert, and Barkuski try and get back to business. They've got fresh tires, which means they're going to be a little bit looser that first couple of laps until they get up to speed and get the tires warmed up. That's where you can see a little bit of snap loose out of these ARCA cars. They're definitely not easy to drive by any stretch of the imagination. They're very high horsepower, low downforce. It's easy with too much throttle, not being sensitive enough on it to send yourself spinning around here.
Yeah, absolutely. And with a lot of these lot of these other drivers that have been in sort of the middle or even the back of the pack that are now in front, it's interesting to see what they do and how they manage that. Carlos Thiel, obviously being someone that's been in the front of the pack twice now, you can see the drastic difference between a more experienced driver versus someone who is maybe a little bit newer to the series or is just new to racing in general, anything along those lines. And as everyone's getting back out onto the track here, we have everyone lining up in looks like double file. A few drivers falling back into the proper positions that they need to be in.
Yeah, I saw Ryan Perkins. You saw Andrew Neri. You see a bunch of cars that are out front that I think are getting pushed to the back, so unable to get the wave around on that one. So they're going to get shuffled to the back again since they are lap or laps down. I know Andrew Neri, he's about 7 or 8 laps down. I believe Ryan Perkins, he's about 5 laps down. So those guys not having the run they really wanted to, but being true professionals, they're staying out there. They're scoring some points for themselves and the team and just trying to salvage a bad weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are doing the best that they can. And it's unfortunate for a lot of these drivers, too, that have been involved in these incidents early on in the race or even or later on in the race as well that have kind of been pushed into the back of the pack. It's really unfortunate to see it happen to these guys, but you do what you can and you just make the best of it.
Green flag is out. Fields up front. Vandermeer second. Behind them, Eckert, Heller. Yellow flag is out. We got a crash in the back of the field. That's going to be Tyler Evans involved. Shane Gentry involved. Not what we wanted to see here. So Tyler Evans, that's his second crash of the night. He was the first car that had an incident before the race actually started. So watch Tyler Evans. He's the number 15 machine. Not quite sure where the wreck manifests from. So I'm confused. So, the number just caught him sleeping. Sends around the 26. I think we have another crash. So the 26 caused it. Oh, we got crashes everywhere. What's going on?
The night is unfolding into a very, very interesting race.
So we saw another series of huge crashes going on. So this is Josh Thompson. He shows us crashing. Maybe it's the drivers having to check up so bad for cars on the track that triggers the live time and scoring. That's what they're doing. They're having to come to a stop, I think, to let the pace car. That's what they're doing. They're letting the pace car go by. So that on live time and scoring, when they come to a stop like that, triggers it as a crash. The iRacing thinks, hey, we shouldn't be stopping here. Let's go back to Shane Gentry. Ooh. So Shane Gentry in the 26 gets punted by, I believe, the 15.
Yeah, and the 26 car loses it there, too, afterwards and comes into the front of the number 8 car, Ryan Perkins.
So look at this. This is the onboard for Tyler Evans. No, we need to get the 19. Hold on. We're going to back that up just a little bit. So that's number 19, Patrick Hernandez. So watch this. He may have been looking down at his cell phone, maybe sending a tweet to the fans, but boom! Into the back of the 26 and just sends him on a spectacular ride.
Yeah, and I gotta wonder too what happened there. If he maybe was looking at Twitch chat possibly. It's unfortunate to see that happen. It's when you're racing in these series too, you know, it's very easy for things like that to happen. All it takes is one little mistake, and you're out of the race, or even worse, you're done for entirely.
Yeah. You hate to see it. Like I said, one mistake ruins your cars, ruins somebody else's. But if our drivers are on their phones mid-race under caution, thank you guys that have given us a sub here on YouTube and a like on the video. It always helps us out, helps out your series, lets your family, your friends, your girlfriends, your wives, never at the same time, but lets them know you're out there racing and putting on a good show for everybody. So as always, thank you to our drivers, everybody that tunes in every week. And as always, the All-American ARCA series for allowing us to broadcast these spectacular events, and for the drivers who put on a spectacular show week in and week out. We couldn't do it without you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. If it wasn't for these guys, we wouldn't be here broadcasting to you guys today. If All American ARCA Series wasn't here, we wouldn't be.
Then what would I be doing on a Friday night?
I don't know, James. What would we be doing?
Probably still on iRacing, Mason. Just not broadcasting.
Probably.
We're gonna get ready to re-rack them once more. It's still gonna be Thiel and Vandermeed out front. We had mentioned they are on very, very old tires, but it hasn't been the top cars giving us problem on the restarts. It's always mid-pack or back where things get very, very spicy very, very quickly on restarts. But we're gonna get ready to re-rack them once more and see what happens out here.
Let's see what these drivers are gonna give us here in this next green flag run. Hopefully we don't have another yellow caution immediately after the green flag goes down, but we'll see here as hopefully the pace car enters the pit lane here.
15 laps to go. It's going to be 14 at the line. All these guys are on fresh tires. They have only got about 0 laps under pace on them, so they have 4 laps of caution laps since they came in under yellow flag conditions. So the tires may be warmed up, or at least just enough for false confidence. But green flag is out. Let's see. Thiel gets a pretty good run. Vandermeed in second. Thiel oh God, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's trying to make it three cars wide or just can't hold a line there. Behind them, Carnage, Shane Gentry, Tyler Evans, Patrick Hernandez. They're all off track, and yellow flag comes out.
Yeah, and it seems like these guys are having a bit of a struggle here in the middle and the back of the pack to keep it. Oh, wow. Big crash out of the 26 car into the back of the 50 car. 50 car is going to have, let's see here, you're going to be...
So the 50 gets into the wall, and the number 26 just sends it. Does his best to avoid him, but all the way under the number 50. Oh, that's spectacular. I mean, it's not good for the drivers, but it's damn good television. Let's get another angle on that one. We'll back it up just a little bit. How long was he in the air there? He got it off track because he was above the track. 26 just ramps it. The 50 goes for the ride of his life. 654 Andrew Neri, he gets involved. Neri locks it up pretty good. Well done to him. Ryan Perkins through the inside, dives down. Number 15's involved. The 38's involved. Carnage on the racetrack.
Absolute carnage. Very unfortunate to see, especially with only 13 laps to go now. I mean, it's these drivers involved in these incidents now. They've got to be a little upset right now.
Yeah, these guys are ready to click off some laps and bring it home. They've got to be tired. They've got to be hot in their suits. So Thiel lifetime of scoring still shows Thiel out front, followed by Vandermeed, then Heller, Barkuski, Eckert, Weeks, and Westergreen. So the guys on the older tires did manage to hold on to their positions for that restart. As we're going to get ready to go green with about 10 laps to go, these guys are running out of time to make something happen. But at this point, if we can get through it without any more cautions, I'll be impressed.
Yeah, I can't agree more with you, James. It's, with only less than, 12 laps to go now at this point, these drivers really have to lock it up now and avoid more of these yellow cautions as we're on the 8th caution now. And for the leaders, too, before these cautions happen, Barkuski and Heller and Eckert, you got to be wondering what they're thinking right now.
I think they're terrified right now. They're trying to get around. We see the lucky dog. I believe that's Perkins on the left side of your screen, trying to get some laps back, but I think it's going to be too little too late. So Perkins is going to be Still about 4 or 5 laps down at this point. So although he is getting the lucky dog, doesn't help him out much. But man, I mean, at this point, I think the guys out front, they want to get quick work around Thiel and Vandermeer. If any of those, if Heller, Barkuski, Eckert, Weeks, or Westergren can get around them before another caution comes out, that gives them a better chance. One more car between them and their competitors behind them will be hugely beneficial. So I think that's what you're going to see from those lead guys is make a very quick, aggressive pass, and then if they get a green flag run, hey, great, they get to go racing. But if a caution comes out, that's one less guy they're going to have to worry about with fresh tires.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It really is going to come down to if these drivers are going to be able to keep it locked up here for these last 11 laps and get out some more green flag laps. It's really going to be difficult for these drivers that were in the front of the pack before to catch up to the front again if they keep dwindling down these laps the way that they are now.
And this is Thiel's first race on a team. Thiel and Devin Scroggins have formed, and bear with me, Alpha Ravioli Yoo-Hoo Racing. Parentheses, yes, that is the team's real name, so that's their first time out here as a team. A few other season updates. Zach Rogers has switched to the number 5 machine. He joined Cornerstone Motorsports. Dewsbury and Varkowski, they formed Team Eclipse Racing. Let's see, it's going to be one pace lap for the entire race. And so overall, things are shaking up a little bit in the silly season. Drivers figuring out where they're going to go as things progress. But let's get ready to go green with 10 laps to go here at Auto Club.
Let's see if Thiel here can pull off a couple lead laps here and stay out in front. He's going to have a lot of competition. He's got Vandermeer, Barkuski, Heller, Weeks, and Eckert all right behind him. So he might not be there long, especially with Eckert being as fast as he is. It's going to be hard to compete with these guys.
Here they go. Oh, can Thiel hold on to it? He's running the high line. I think he's going to get quickly enveloped by Barkuski. He makes it 3 wide. So Barkuski is going to be our race leader. He's on the newest tires out there. Thiel and Vandermeer doing their best to hold on to it, but Thiel just doesn't quite have the pace. Here comes Johnny Eckert down the inside. They're going to be 3 wide once more on the back straight. Oh, boy. Eckert's trying to get out front. He's going to tuck in behind Barkuski. Vandermeer's still in 3rd. Heller stuck in 4th. Just barely ekes by. Gets a tow from Eckert. Going to drive up the racetrack. Maybe cut off Vandermeer. Doesn't quite have it as they are shuffling for a position, trying to click it off. It's 9 to go.
9 to go, and Barkuski's currently out in front. He's hoping that he's going to stay out in front probably. And Eckert's right close on his tail. He's getting a little bit of draft support from Christopher Heller, and he might be able to get into that first position, but with only 9 laps to go, all of these drivers are all trying to compete now for those top 3 positions, so I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of drivers helping each other out as far as draft support is concerned. But if any of these drivers want to see themselves out in front, they're going to have to help each other just a little bit and try and close that gap with Barkuski, because Barkuski has about a half a second gap right now, and it's not closing anytime soon right now.
Yeah, Barkuski just clicked off his very fastest lap of the race with a 41.64. I believe that's the overall fastest, and oh boy, here comes the caution. That's going to be Spencer Dewsbury involved, Shane Gentry involved. Let's get a replay on that one. So that's the number 77.
He looks like he has some damage on his front.
Yeah, it looks like he's not able to drive.
Yeah, it looks like his car is completely totaled in the front.
So I'm not sure if there's an incident before that. Shane Gentry, he gets involved at some point. Number 26. Oh, no. How many cars has he hit tonight?
Wow.
Oh, look at the air. He goes for
wow.
1, 2, 3 spins around the racetrack. That was definitely the crash of the night. The 26 just hammering Dewsbury's injured machine, and what an absolute ride.
Just carnage on the track tonight. Absolute carnage. And you know, the funny thing is too is all of this carnage didn't start happening until the last 20 laps.
So we're going to watch on board with Shane Gentry. See what he sees for as he goes for the liftoff of the night. Still under power, still going fast. And look at the top right of your screen. You see Dewsbury with that injured car. That was looked like Gentry tried to go the outside, but what a spectacular camera angle.
And he goes on a wild ride. Yeah, you know, and it looks like he was really trying his hardest to go around him, but I think he was expecting that car to go a little bit further than it was and not stop right there in the middle of the track, essentially.
Yeah, I agree. Gentry, it looked like he was waiting for Dewsbury to judging by his current trajectory, keep going down the racetrack, and Gentry should be clear, but Dewsbury didn't drop as low as Gentry thought, and man, he just slammed that machine.
Unfortunate. Very unfortunate for Dewsbury. And as we have the drivers starting to get back in formation here for these final 6 laps, we have someone catching up on some of their laps as well. We have Brandon Barkuski right out in front, Johnny Eckert in second, and Christopher Heller in third. So I think we're going to see a little bit of high competition here in these last 6 laps for these 3 positions.
Fully agreed. It's going to be good. I mean, all of these guys have had the pace. Barkuski, Eckert, Heller, Dennis Weeks Jr., Kyle Hall. He's in the mix, up 12 positions. Vandermeed, he's up 5 positions in 6. All of these guys are very, very quick. The top, I believe it's the top 5, all on the same tire strategy, all pitted last time on lap 81. So I think we're about to see a 5-way battle for the lead. Hopefully they keep it clean and green, but if they don't, they're going to at least make it exciting for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think if they can't finish off these last 5 laps here, all green, we're at least going to see some interesting crashes possibly.
So we're going to drive once more, I believe, before the pace car comes in. All right, Mason, it's going to be 4 to go when they cross the line. What's your predictions here tonight at AutoClub?
Well, let's see here. Johnny Eckert's, he's been one of the faster guys tonight, but Brandon Barkuski, he put down one of his best lap times of 41.64, and it's almost 0.15 faster than Eckert. So just based on that information alone, I think we're going to see Barkuski stay out in front. Eckert is probably going to stay in second if Heller doesn't come out and swoop it from him. So I think our final lineup is going to end up being probably Brandon Barkuski first. I'm going to come out and say I think Christopher Heller is going to be second, and I think Johnny Eckert's going to be third.
That could be a good race. Let's see if you're right. The pace car comes in. It's Barkuski out front, stacks up the field just a little bit, gets on the gas hard, and he's going to get a good launch over Johnny Eckert. But look at that. Heller and pretty much the entire crowd go the high line to tuck in behind Eckert. Heller's getting a big, big push from Weeks Jr. Saw that car get just a little bit unsettled. But, man, Barkuski and Eckert are checking out right now.
Absolutely, yeah. They are both just leading the front of the pack right now. Barkuski he has a 0.70 second gap in front of Eckert right now, and that's just a huge gap to have in these last four laps to go. I don't think Eckert's going to be able to catch up catch up with him, especially when he doesn't have any draft support right now. Unless someone in third or fourth is able to catch up with them and give them a little support to catch up to Barkowski.
It's 3 to go. They're going 2 by 2, battling for third place right here. That's Dennis Weeks Jr. on the high line. You've got Kyle Hall out of nowhere on the 87 machine. Hall's up 13 spots, currently sitting in fourth, but man, this is a spectacular battle for third. It's going to be 2 to go when they cross the line. Number 18 machine, Heller, he's running the low line. He wants back up front, trying to chase down Dennis Weeks Jr., Kyle Hall. They're both to the right of him. Looks like he doesn't quite have the draft, and oh, Lord, another yellow flag with 2 to go.
Oh, man, the yellow flags tonight, that is just the curse of this race today. And with that being, I believe, the 9th yellow flag of tonight, it's got to be very disheartening for a lot of these drivers here. 10th caution, I was wrong. Yeah, it's got to be very, very disheartening for a lot of these drivers here. So I don't think we're going to see a lot more shake-up here in the top 5 pack. We might see a little bit, a couple positions change, but
now, Mason, we do have the green-white checkered attempt, though, where these guys have one more final attempt to try and bring it home under green flag conditions. So if my understanding is if they have a caution on the first lap, the race will finish under caution. But if they can make it to the white flag, they will run to the end no matter what happens out there. So this could be very, very interesting. You're about to see a heck of a shootout. Hopefully the top 5 keep it clean, and well, honestly, hopefully everybody keeps it clean, and we get to see these guys battle it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's this whole race has just been very interesting from start to finish. We had a very interesting start with a few yellow cautions coming out, and then the middle of the race, all green, not a whole lot of incidents, and then just this last portion has just been very vicious to these drivers. It's honestly been very interesting today.
It's been a bloodbath out there. So we're currently looking at Christopher Heller, the number 18 machine. Heller from the good old US of A. He's doing great. He's running in 4th place currently. Highest finish of the season is the 2nd. Looking pretty good for points. I mean, he's still got Eckert in front of him. Eckert pretty dominating on the points right now, but Heller doing a good job staying fast, staying consistent, and trying to manage some more points. It just takes one bad weekend from Eckert in this championship run, and suddenly everyone else can be battling for the lead. So anything can happen. So these guys are going to keep pushing like it's the last race and just see where the cards may fall.
Absolutely. And with it only being the 3rd race in the series as well, it's one of those things where you can afford to lose a few positions, but as you're progressing through the series, it's going to be very important that you don't find yourself in these positions where you're getting farther and farther down the pack and not getting as many points, because then you'll find Johnny Eckert now leading in points right now. He may find himself next week where he has another rough start as he is today. Well, not rough start, but has another interesting race as there is today, and might find himself getting knocked out of that number 1 position in the point standings.
And something we'll notice as well, the higher somebody qualifies, the better chance they have of finishing the race and being in the top 10. So as you get kind of back in that top 10 or further back, that's where things have been getting very, very exciting, and people have been having rough races with lots of crashes. So I think you're going to see a lot of the guys focusing on their qualifying before next weekend at Las Vegas and try and give themselves a little bit better odds of avoiding the possible carnage throughout these races.
Absolutely. I think some of these drivers that have been involved in a lot of these incidents in the back of the pack and even the middle, they probably will want to work on just working with other drivers that they may have never raced with before, and just getting comfortable with being next to other drivers and not getting a little spicy with your tactics.
So far your predictions look pretty close. Barkowski's out front, Eckert 2nd, Heller 3rd, Dennis Weeks Jr. 4th, David Westergreen in 5th. So The top 5 getting shaken up just a little bit as the pace car gets ready to come in for the final shootout here at Auto Club. Let's see what's going to happen. Can they make a lap green and finish under green-white? Or will be one more caution to bring us home? We're about to find out. Pace car is in. All eyes are on Brandon Barkuski on the outside line. Johnny Eckert's down low. Barkuski gets a big launch. Is he going to drop low? He is. He's going to leave Heller high and dry in the 18 machine, run the outside.
Yeah, and looks like Christopher Heller and Johnny Eckert now, they're going to be battling side by side. Johnny Eckert's probably going to, he's going to take him over there for that second position. Christopher Heller's going to fall in behind him as they head single file here into the straight. And Barkuski just doing an excellent job of just staying in front. Now, Eckert getting a little spicy there, trying to get around Barkuski, or maybe even just trying to block Heller from getting around him.
Yeah, I think Eckert was trying to get a drive on the inside. Barkuski threw a nasty block, and then you see a violent game of snake going on. Eckert gets very close, lets him know saying, hey, you're not going to take it that easy from me. White flag is out. Here we go. It's neck and neck. Johnny Eckert, Brandon Barkuski going into turn 1 and 2. Barkuski's on the low line. Eckert's running high. Behind Eckert, you got Christopher Heller. He's in the mix with a good drive. Eckert might have it cleared here. They're still side by side down the back stretch. Heller doesn't know who to give a push to. Right now, Eckert's got him by a nose. Barkuski dives low. Can he carry the speed to bring it to the checkered flag? They're coming out of 4 side by side. It's Eckert, Barkuski. Less than 100 separates them. They touch. They get into each other. Eckert's still out front. Barkuski gives them the business. Who gets it at the line? It's going to be Barkuski at the line, followed by Johnny Eckert and Christopher Heller. A photo finish.
Absolutely incredible. Barkuski and Eckert side by side down the straight there over the finish line. That was just absolutely incredible to watch there. They put up a great fight, and they put up a great race tonight too.
So look at this. This is our All-American ARCA sponsored chopper camera. Shows you how close that finish actually is. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. So look at that. Eckert's on the high line. Barkuski doesn't give him any room to wiggle. And
just look how close that is. Wow. And they get super close to each other and just barely
very
Barkuski
well done.
takes
So that's
it.
going to be Barkuski
Wow.
up front. Then Eckert, then Mr. Heller. So great driving from all of our competitors as we're going to watch Barkuski burn it down here.
Barkuski definitely earned it today. He put up a great race tonight, and I think he's definitely going to find himself a very comfortable position here in the points lead. He's only has 41 points now in the ladder. It's going to give him a nice little bump up the ladder here, and hopefully next week he'll be able to do the same thing and be another competitor here.
Fantastic racer. We're going to wait for our racers to get to the waiting room for their post-race interviews. As Barkuski puts down a fantastic show, he's going to use every bit of that tire. He paid for all the tires. He's going to use all the tires. But Barkuski brings home his first win of the season, a very well-deserved run. I couldn't ask for a closer photo finish than that. Very impressive driving from all of our competitors. We're going to get third place. Christopher Heller up in the broadcast booth. Heller bringing it home in third. Always been running second so far this season, so it's your worst finish of the season, but still on the podium. So how does that make you feel, man?
It's pretty good. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
Mason, what do you have for Mr. Heller tonight?
Mr. Heller. So, being in this race tonight, you put on a very impressive performance. What were your thoughts going into the race tonight?
Well, I wasn't really too confident going into the race because I just didn't have like flat out speed, but I definitely had a lot more speed than I thought I did. But I was struggling in 1 and 2, and then I just found something like early on in the race that helped helped out with that. So I'm pretty happy about the finish.
Absolutely, yeah. You put on a very good race tonight. You came out and you came out and finished third, and I hope to see you again next week and do the same thing.
Yeah, I definitely will be back next weekend. I look forward to it every week.
Heller
Awesome.
doing a
Well,
great
thank you
job
again for coming.
Heller doing
Yep,
a great
thank
job
you.
for 2511 Racing. Before we let you go, anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my parents for watching. I want to congratulate Brandon Barkowski, my teammate, on the win. I told him off of turn 4 that you're probably gonna have to get physical with him coming to the line, and he
Yeah.
did that.
Well, awesome. Heller, we looking forward to seeing you next week, sir.
Yep, thank you.
All right, up next we got second place, the man that got dethroned, Johnny Eckert. Johnny, do you read me, man?
Yep, I'm here.
Johnny, I know it wasn't the dominating performance that you wanted, but you provided some spectacular racing tonight. How's it feeling bringing home second with a relatively clean car?
Yeah, I mean, I early on I was kind of worried about I was driving a little bit over my head, trying to keep my lap lead streak going. It was like 100. I think it ended like 170 something laps. I led 14 at the beginning, and then Heller got by me. So, but from there I kind of just rode it out, and I was trying to figure out where I'm at and manage the race better. The chaos in the middle of the race really had me questioning if I was even gonna finish the race at all. But thankfully we got through, and the three best cars that were running up front for most of the race did finally get to duke it out for an exciting finish. So uh, stinks to end the win streak, but he ran me clean. He could have driven me a lot harder, or driven me a lot dirtier. A couple bumps down the front stretch, and we crossed the line by with a gap of 0.004 seconds. So I'm very pleased with the result.
Awesome. And Johnny, one more question for you. Going into this race, were you kind of hoping to come out first, or what were your thoughts going into this race?
Yeah, I we had a practice the other day. The league had a practice up, and I was doing laps, and I felt off pace. I didn't have it. I mean, I put a lap time down that was pretty close to what the fastest time in the session was, but it just didn't feel like that I was going to be comfortable in the race. So I wasn't expecting much, and to be quite honest, I'm surprised to have even run up front for as long as I did. The pole, first of all, again, was just total shock because I I didn't have the pace, and I had messed up my first lap big time. So I was surprised that I actually did get the pole, but um, from there I was just kind of hoping that that I would do a good job managing my tire wear and be there towards the end. Didn't really think that I would be contending the whole race. I thought my teammates would be pushing me a little bit more, but or at least sooner. They did get to me, and they were on my butt for quite a while. And then once we got into the chaotic section of the race, it just kind of fell off a bit. But I'm I'm utterly shocked that I was able to race it out like this. It's AutoClub's been hit or miss with me for a while, and lately it's been big time miss. So to come out of here clean is just amazing to me.
Well, Eckert, always a pleasure having you up on the podium. You should still keep your points lead going into the next round, week 4 at Las Vegas. Before we let you go, who would you like to thank that might be watching along from home tonight?
Yeah, well, first off, I'm looking forward to Vegas. But yeah, I want to thank my teammates, DJ Weeks and David Westergreen, who finished 4th and 5th. They had good finishes. They were up and down throughout the race. Shout out to Robert Hill, who's another teammate who wasn't able to make it out tonight. Thank you to the broadcasters and the league owners and administration for putting this all together. And yeah, I'm I'm glad that this is over. I'm glad that this chaotic race is done behind us, and we'll start focusing forward on what's to come.
Excellent. We'll see you next week, Eckert. Looking forward to it.
Thanks.
All right, up next, the man of the hour bringing home his first win. Great racing throughout the night. Brandon, do you read me, sir?
Yeah, we got you guys. How you doing?
Brandon, well done tonight. You ran it clean. You guys could have been much more aggressive at the end, but you brought it home in first place. And from my understanding, no hurt feelings among everybody. Everybody just shook their hands and said, "Hey, that was great racing throughout tonight."
Oh yeah. Early in the race, I actually was being a goofball. I drove down pit road by accident trying to knock the cone over, so I had to go to the back. But racing around Johnny and Chris. I know Chris. I'm teammates with him in a couple other leagues, but Johnny seems to be a good guy. He's a very talented racer, and the three of us. I mean, we were going back and forth up there, even on the green flag run before it. So obviously, really good talent and no hard feelings. I mean, that was about as clean as a finish as you could get. So really was nervous though. I thought Johnny with that run he got off turn two. I was like, dang, I better block turn three because he is coming. But I don't know. I'm happy to get this one because I think last week at Phoenix it was it's pretty obvious that Johnny is a step ahead of the competition. So thankfully we got this one here, and we'll just look to racing against him in this league down the road and just try to get better. It's always good to race against talent that makes you push your limits. And honestly, credit to the league too. There was a very long green flag run. We made pit stops and everything in this race. Little bit of iRacing mishaps with the cautions, but that can all be sorted out. That's an easy fix. But it seems like on these bigger tracks, the racing really picked up. There was less yellows and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Brandon, I have one question for you. So you put on a lap time, the best lap time tonight of 41.64. Now, you had quite a bit of competition with Johnny Eckert, Christopher Heller, and a few others as well. What kind of gave you the motivation to push yourself a little bit harder and get yourself out on top?
It probably happened there in that last green white checker. To tell you the truth, I probably had to. I told myself, channel my inner Darrell Waltrip. It's time to boogity boogity boogity, and let's go racing, boys. But it probably happened there, and when it's the end of the race, I mean, you just got to go. And I think maybe what happened was, I think Chris, being my teammate, he took fuel on that last stop, and I intentionally didn't take fuel. So whenever a car's got less fuel in it, it's going to be lighter. So the way physics, that your hope is the car will rotate and just get through the corner better. And clearly iRacing's physics work. So it definitely helped us, I guess, get that. I don't know if that's a bonus point or not in that league or in this league, but if it is, we'll take it. But yeah, just taking less fuel, I think, was maybe the icing on the cake there for that.
Well, Brandon, you had a rough night at Daytona with the 29th. You finished 7th at Phoenix and then brought it all the way up to first here tonight. We hope to see you carry that momentum going into the future. Before we let you go, any sponsors, friends, family you want to thank that might be out there?
Yeah, right on the hood, 2511 Racing. It's a team Chris Heller and I have put together, and I mean, lately I feel like in all these leagues we're running in, I mean, we're winning everything we're running in. So I'm really proud of the team Chris and I have built together. I also paint cars on iRacing, so if you're on Trading Paints, look me up. I charge pretty low rates. But yeah, thank you guys so much for doing a good broadcast too. I definitely watch it back. You guys do a very solid job. So just looking forward to more races in this league.
We greatly appreciate it. We're looking forward to seeing you on the podium more often. Have a good night. Enjoy the celebrations, Brandon.
Yep. Take it easy, guys. Thank you.
So just like that, a whole bunch of cautions later, and we get through the California 200 here at the All-American ARCA Series. Mason, how'd you look from your first time up here in the booth for this series?
James, it was a great race tonight. Going into this race tonight, I wasn't really too sure what to expect, but tonight these guys really put on a really good race despite the cautions and the incidents. And I really look forward to next week's race and seeing what these guys do.
Well, awesome. As always, it's a great pleasure calling the action at the All-American ARCA Series here on the Team Goon Squad broadcasting channel. Always pushing it out live, 1080p, 60 frames a second. And as always, a major thanks to everybody at home that watches our live streams, that subscribes to the channel and gives us a like on the videos. It helps out the series a lot. It gets your favorite driver noticed more, and we couldn't do it without you guys. And a big ups to the All-American ARCA Series League admins for putting this show on and having us. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East, accompanied by Mason Heimbaugh. We'll see you next week.